is better now. Good. Wednesday morning again. So this week, I don't know if you actually know, but it's saving energy week. So save, and so just bring more awareness into our minds to switch off maybe even the plug if we don't charge our phones, maybe for short distances, rather walk than take the car. Just the awareness, save energy where you can to maybe make a bit of an impact on the environment. But energy comes in all sorts of different forms. So even when I asked you the question, what are your energy levels like? So we also kind of just made up of energy. The moment we wake up, we may have 100% energy. We may just have 70% energy, how we slept. So kind of that energy bank determines how we probably use that energy during the day. So if you don't underestimate the brain, so even if you're worrying, if you have a quite ruminating mind, that actually takes up a lot of energy as well. So the brain is one of those organs that needs a lot of energy to function. So, and as we have certain hours in the day, so we need to make sure that energy is kind of distributed rather equally, so we don't get into a slump. And then once we feel a bit of an energy slump, we probably have those tools, usually coffee probably, that just spikes that energy level up. So, but yoga is a good practice to have a more of an uplifting energy. So even low energy, you can lift up. And if you're kind of hyper, a lot of energy, but you actually need to, for example, sleep, to bring the energy down as well. So we're working with different kind of types of energy and also just says out what you actually need. Maybe I'm offering you more uplifting things, but you may feel, oh, this is actually too much for me. So this is where that awareness comes in to adjust it to your needs. Good. So we actually get started standing, and we will play with different forms of kind of energy today. So the most, probably the easiest one, or the energy we can most relate to is the energy of movement. So we're bringing that breath awareness into our bodies. Start perhaps the feet hip width apart. And on the inhale, reach the arms up, lengthen. And exhale, bring the backs of your palms together and slowly bring the arms out to the sides. So just a few rounds here to clear some cobwebs. But also draw that awareness into your breath, how it feels in the body and how the shoulders perhaps function. So arms out to the sides, lengthen. And exhale, backs of your palms meet slowly. With your breath, guide your arms down. Good. Few rounds here. Inhale. And the backs of your palms meet. Exhale. Slowly bring your arms down. Good. Few rounds. And let the breath really guide you. Inhale, lengthen. Backs of your palms meet. Exhale, slowly bring your arms down. So think of your arms of that extension to your lungs. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, slowly bring the arms down. Good. Twice more, arms out to the sides as you lengthen. Reach up high, exhale, slowly bring the arms down alongside the body. Lovely. Last one, your arms out to the sides. As you bring the energy in, exhale. Release the arms down. And then just keep your arms down, noticing how do the shoulders feel? How does the breath feel? And then move into some shoulder circles, shoulders up towards your ears, and then slowly draw the shoulder blades down, back and down. Good. So kind of just making the most of that energy available to us. If we feel stuck, the energy can't flow freely through the body. So drawing awareness to our shoulders once more. Bring the shoulder circles forward. Good. So the elbows can have a soft bend, maybe a little bit of a larger bend. So just you decide, perhaps explore what works. what works less so. Good. And then just let your arms, or let the shoulders shrug. And automatically you may have that need to move your head from side to side. So you may have a more of a tilt as one ear moves towards the shoulder. And perhaps notice if there's a tendency to lift one shoulder. So keep both shoulders quite released, quite relaxed. Inhale back to center, exhale to one side. And keep the movement also quite small, quite controlled, quite soft. Good. And then bring those kind of tilts perhaps into circles. Bring your chin towards your chest and just half circles from the left to the right and back. Good. And then find your way back to center. Any movement here through your shoulders, through your upper back. Good. Continue to work with arms to just bring more space into the ribcage. Arms out to the sides. Elbows can be slightly bent. Palms face forward. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. So avoid really a bit like the Titanic move. So keep that movement coming more from the arms. Lift your heart center. The chin also very slightly without throwing the head too far back. And then cross your arms as you give yourself a hug. Just remember the arm that is on top. So a bit of a squeeze. Kind of just lean forward. Maybe just very gentle circle, very slow circle. So without aiming for a specific kind of shape, just feel into the shoulder blade. Chin can move towards your shoulder, towards your chest. Good. And then get ready to open your arms again. Arms out to the sides, palms face forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards your spine. Take a moment perhaps just to feel that stretch in the front body. And then exhale, opposite arm on top as you give yourself a hug. So just kind of wiggle here, just the upper back. Maybe there's a very slight turn, bit of a twist. So you may feel certain sensations in your upper back, maybe more in your mid back. So you can direct the stretch depending which way you're going, how kind of far you're moving. Good. And then kind of slowly come back to center, arms out once more to the sides. And this time release them back down and behind you. Perhaps interlace your hands, make a fist. So choice here, either elbows bend or you draw your fists towards the earth. So whatever you prefer. If you have your elbows more bent, bring the elbows together. So a slight kind of engagement to lengthen, to stretch the chest. Good. Focusing in on your breath. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Good. Release your arms. Now a bit of a shake, a bit of a shift, and move into those twists, floppy arms. And really bring your awareness into your back. How does it feel? Does it feel quite restricted? Does it feel a bit stiff? So use your arms where you want to bring the stretch. So maybe just the twist, maybe around your hips, perhaps rib cage height, perhaps more shoulder height. Good. If you feel a bit dizzy, just turn that movement down. Maybe give yourself a pat on the shoulder. So it's already hump day, halfway through the week, almost, at least at the end of the day. Good. And then find your way back to standing, kind of without just letting them stop, just casually bring that movement to stillness. It's almost upper body done. Just take a moment to feel into the breath. Does it feel a little more open, a little bit less stiff? Good. So little things, they really help to uplift as we're working with energy this morning, as it's energy saving week, so we uplift, but then also make sure that we're not kind of spending too much energy. From your feet a little bit wider apart, hands on your thighs, and begin to slowly fold forward. So maybe the first forward fold, and it wakes up your hamstrings. So just go release and then slowly come back up. So we're doing a couple of rounds to stretch the back line of the body. So just do this for a few rounds. So resist the temptation to do it quite quickly. So almost just slowing it down and feeling into how the vertebra unfolds. Then the shoulders draw back, the head literally the last thing that is upright. So a couple of rounds here. And notice, does it feel easier as you fold forward in your hamstrings, in your back? So always have your knees a little bit further bent. So just going a few rounds. If it feels maybe a good, if it feels good to stay with your head for a little bit further forward for 1 or 2 breaths, feel free to kind of hang out here for a little longer. So always adjust for any maybe changes in the blood pressure. Good. So it really softens, releases the whole back line. So then the next time everyone folds forward, stay in that forward fold. You can always bring your hands onto your thighs, almost sitting in a bit of a rugby posture, or you just keep your upper body folding forward. Perhaps shake your head out, say yes, say no. Take 1 deep breath in through your nose, exhale out through a wide mouth. 1 more time, inhale through your nose. Exhale, side out. And slowly make your way back up to standing, uncurling, vertebra by vertebra. As you roll the shoulders back, lift the head. So just acknowledge where we are in space. Just let the body find its upright position again. Ah, good. So that slowing down is also that folding forward brings circulation into the head, so it makes the mind a little clearer. Face the long edge of your mat, please. So some of you may have to turn around and take your feet a little further out to the side. So those Charlie Chaplin feet. And you need to bend your knees and kind of a bit of more of a squat, or more of a ballet squat perhaps. So now it's up to you how deep you want to bend your knees. Maybe it's just a little dip, perhaps a little deeper. And keep your upper body quite upright. So you may lean a little forward. If you do it, perhaps keep your body almost in line, so shoulders stacked over your hips. If there's more of a pulling sensation on your inner thighs, perhaps take the feet a little further together. And from your current speed, so we all have different speed doing that movement, slow it down 1 notch. Good. So we are bringing a bit more heat into our body. So energy comes in different forms. There's also that energy of heat. Good. And the next time you dip or come into that squat, stay here, bring your hands onto your inner thighs. Hands point to the inside of your thighs. And or just point your left shoulder towards the right knee and your right shoulder towards the left knee. So clearing out some of the cobwebs in the back body again, maybe in the chest, perhaps in the side body, in the waist, so wherever you feel it. Good. Lovely. And then finish 1 on each side. So keep the body balanced. And find your way back to center. Slowly push up to standing. Maybe have a little bit of a wiggle through your legs, maybe even arms, shoulders. So just any movement. So it's about keeping the whole fascia that connects all the organs, keeps the muscles, the bones together, quite fluid. Bring your feet now parallel, please. So the feet are parallel to each other. And perhaps adjust the stance. So we are leaning from side to side. Inner thighs get a little bit of a stretch. So you can use your hands. They can rest on your thighs. Again, depending on energy levels, you may have both hands. Perhaps stay for a little longer. Maybe just a breath before you move to the second side. Good. So as we already warmed up the upper body, if you want to move more into a twist and you use both hands, maybe then look over that opposite shoulder using the, so I say I'm looking over my left shoulder, using my right shoulder slightly to pull me a little bit further towards that side. You can move one hand perhaps towards your calf. Maybe just stay on that knee or high up on your thigh. So emotion, energy of motion, kinetic energy. Good. Perhaps you want to bring one arm up. So again, it's personal choice. Maybe the arm is on your back, perhaps the arm's up overhead. So just explore here without kind of taking everything I say, oh, I have to do it. So if it feels, oh, this is not okay for today on my shoulder, just keep your hands a little bit lower. So it's the thing of making yoga accessible. Lovely. And then find that, or bring that movement to stillness, hands on your thighs, and slowly find a way to either remain more parallel, to focus in on your breath, or if you want, you can slowly fold further forward. So you can decide where you want to be as we focus in on our breath. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. So if you want, you can even expel that air out. Lovely, one more breath. And bend your knees deeply as you lift your upper body and use your legs to push up to standing. So you're not using the spine to stand up. So just take a moment or two to notice as your blood pressure adjusts. Good. From here, have a little bit of a kick. So move your heels towards your bottom. So a bit of a kick. Lengthening the front thighs. Good. So you could do it on your mat. You can do it on the spot. You can walk up and down your yoga mat. So just that action. So we usually don't walk this way, I think. So it's a nice way just to use the muscles in a way without holding that movement straight away, just to give those muscles, the biggest muscles in the body, the thigh muscle, a little bit of a release. Good. And then bring that movement back to stillness. So now the opposite way, depending how you feel, you may want to just have a little lift. So we are strengthening the hip flexor, or you want to bring your knee up higher. So if you do it, avoid leaning forward. So we don't want to compensate. Keep your upper body quite upright. And as you lift your knee. So again, you can do it on the spot, or you can walk up and down on your yoga mat. So it also gets the heart rate up a little bit. So it's that energy. Maybe even play with the speed. So do it slower, even lifting, lowering, which makes it also more of a balance if you walk or even if you're on the spot. You can even go backwards. After a couple of rounds, you may feel really strengthens that hip flexor. Good. And then shake your legs out. So maybe have a little bit more of a stretch if you feel you need to stretch, perhaps even circling for your hips. So perhaps that is needed. Good. So we are transitioning to the floor through a downward dog if that is available to you today. You can have a blanket nearby as we are coming from downward dog onto our knees, so you can pad your knees with the blanket. Okay, so on the back of your mat, please, if you want to join me, arms out to the sides, thumbs face forward, thumbs out to the side, thumbs all the way back. So that posture here that draws the shoulders back, lifts the chest. Take one breath into the front body and then rise your arms up. Inhale, lengthen. Backs of your palms meet as you bring your arms out to the side alongside the body. Lean forward, arms reach back. Slowly bring your arms down as you fold forward. Halfway lift. So bottom reaches back, straight back. Head in line with your spine. Exhale, folding forward. Either bend your knees a little bit as you bring your hands down. Slowly walk into your perhaps first downward dog of the day. Pedal it out. So, and look with your head towards your knees. So the reason why I always give you that head alignment cue is that it just releases the neck. So otherwise you might look towards your hands. So just bring your gaze into a slightly different area. Makes a difference for those neck muscles. And then bring your knees down, please. And then just find a child's pose to soften. So you can bring your palms together. You can fold your forearms. Your bottom is up a little higher. The knees can be wider. The knees can be closer together. Maybe you shift your bottom all the way back. So stay for 3 breaths, please. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. So lengthening here through the spine, acknowledging, checking in how we feel. From here, after the 3rd round, bring your hands onto the mat. We are meeting in tabletop. So if you had your big toes together, knees a little wider, bring your legs now parallel, please. So we're incorporating some cat and cows. On the inhale, drop the belly, the tailbone lifts, the chest lifts. As you look forward, inhale, exhale, you're rounding your spine, looking towards your thighs, towards your toes. And then reverse, inhale, slowly uncurl, arching the spine. Exhale, rounding. And use the full length of that exhale. So wait for that exhale to finish. Perhaps as you get towards the end of the exhale, maybe even draw the belly button in, almost squeezing the last bit of carbon dioxide out of your lungs. So inhale, reverse. Exhale, round your spine. Last cat and cow here. Inhale, you stretch the front body. Exhale, we are stretching the back body. Coming back to a neutral tabletop. A little bit of a wiggle perhaps. Optional for you depending how you feel. You can move up into downward dog, Or you bring the hands a little bit further forward, keeping your bottom in the air and bring your head towards the floor. That's puppy posture, or just a variation of downward dog, less weight bearing. So you can choose between that puppy pose, or you move up into downward dog. So we are kind of just having a little bit of free movement. You can decide, you can wiggle your feet, wiggle your heels, shift your bottom from side to side. Let go of any sensations, any tension in your neck. Good. If you're in downward dog, make your way down onto tabletop. So bring your knees down. If you're in puppy pose, just stay where you are, please. So from tabletop, we bring the big toes together, knees a little wider, shifting the bottom back. Keep your arms stretched out in front of you and walk your hands, both hands, towards the right corner of your mat. So we are lengthening, we are bringing the breath in, we are directing the breath into our left side, into the left rib cage. Armpit. Perhaps your left hand, as we are moving, as we are kind of now in the right corner, the left hand may be slightly on top of your left hand, or perhaps even further forward. So a couple of deep breaths to bring that prana, that life force, that life energy into the body. And with your next breath, slowly walk your hands towards the center, changing sides. So both hands to the left corner or to the left side of your mat. The right hand can be slightly on top, maybe even slightly further forward. Lengthen from your tailbone, right side of your rib cage, armpit, elbow. Good. 2 more breaths. Feel an expansion and a softening. Good. And then find your way back to center. Tabletop. Have a little bit of a wiggle. Maybe just let your neck, your head hang here, softening. Good. Transition onto your forearms, please. And extend your right foot behind you. So you can curl that right foot, or the right toes in. So you can make a fist with your hands. Your elbows are pointing to the left and to the right side of your mat. So you're having some sort of perhaps triangular shape with your arms. And shift your body forwards and backwards. So we are focusing in on lengthening the calf tissues. Your head can slowly kind of just release. You can already stay perhaps just more static as you draw your heel towards the back of your mat, lengthening the calf tissue. So use that exhale, please, to release. And then slowly bring your right knee back. Perhaps have a little bit of kind of tabletop circles on your forearms. So just perhaps shifting the bottom from left to right so the head can just release without kind of holding it. Change the directions as well from your tabletop circles. Even just holding here, that posture strengthens your shoulders, the upper back. And bring that rotation, that circling back to a stillness, and change sides. Extend the left foot behind you, curl your toes under, and shift forwards and backwards. So inhale, you may shift forward, exhale, release into that stretch. stay more static instead of rocking forwards and backwards. And then find your way back to stillness. This time transition all the way onto your stomach, onto your belly, and make a cushion with your palms to rest your forehead on. Perhaps if your forehead rests on the back of your palms, maybe gently rock your head from side to side. So you're literally rolling on your forehead from the left side to the right side. So literally switching between the doing state into the being mode. So perhaps find that stillness as you focus in on your breath, breathing in through your nose, all the way into your belly. Exhale, just let the belly deflate and let the air escape out through your nose, out through your mouth. Inhale and exhale. Stay for 2 more breaths. Good. And then slowly find your way into Sphinx posture. So we are bringing the forearms out in front of us. So it depends. The more you have your forearms or your elbows forward, the less deep the back bend is. If you bring your elbows closer in towards your torso, you may have a little bit more of a lift. So we are almost balancing on our forearms. So if you're here, perhaps open the chest, so lengthening. Perhaps look over one side of your shoulder, looking to the left and looking to the right. Good. Drawing your awareness in between those shoulder blades. Perhaps do a couple of shoulder rolls. So you're rolling through the shoulders. Good. Slight back bends are also slightly energizing. And then find your way back onto your front, palms facing down. Maybe wiggle through your lower back. Perhaps bend both knees. Let your knees, the lower legs, just circle. So that releases the lower back. Good. And then find that stillness here. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We're lifting up into tabletop. So legs stretched out again. So push into your hands as you push up to tabletop. And then all the way to child's pose. So find a bit of length. Keep your hands exactly where they are in terms of glued like tabletop. And then rounding the spine, shifting a little bit forward. So you're shifting backwards, lengthening. And as you come up, round your spine and then soften. So a bit like moving like a wave. So we bring the spine back to neutral after that slide back bend. Good. And then find stillness and find a seated position, please. Any seated position. You can sit perhaps the easiest way. So if cross-legged sitting feels easy for you, come to cross-legged. You may want to bring a blanket underneath your bottom. You may also have your feet a little bit wider. So just a moment where you can sit comfortably. So, and I'm bringing in, bring out. So we talked about different what I talked about, but we experience different energies. So energy of movement, energy of heat, by creating heat. So we are now working with the energy of sound. So sound travels. I hope it works. Also on the camera, it probably depends on internet connection. So I've got a singing bowl here. Singing bowl. So we are working a bit of mindfulness with our senses. So I invite you to close your eyes. The moment you close your eyes, your other senses are more active. So what I'm doing is I'm ringing my singing bowl. I'm just making sound with my singing bowl. If you can't hear the sound anymore, so there's probably a little bit of a longer sound, then just bring one hand up. So just that you tune in, it's the inward experience where we, instead of just moving, doing, we're coming into that sort of stillness. So let's see how it goes. So just, we might find a quiet spot to sit, but sit comfortably. We're not doing it for too long. So, and once you can't hear the sound anymore, then just bring one hand up. Okay, ready. I move a little bit closer. Good. So, doing it once more. So just tune in, listen for the sound, and then lift your hand once it fades. Good. So last one here. Yeah, using the singing bowl again, has a nice after sound. Good. So even just bringing a focus, it's still a focus, but also stillness into the body. Good. So from here, from seated, sound travels, but less so much as movement energy. Bring your legs out in front of you, a little bit wider. You may want to have a little bit of a shuffle. So you're lengthening through the crown of your head for your spine, and begin to circle your upper body. So you can direct your body over from one side to the other through the center, maybe leaning back a little bit. So we're tapping into our hamstrings. Good. So it's almost similar to as we fold it forward and then rolling back up. So it's that just gradual release of the hamstrings. You can also bring maybe both palms together, make a fist, kind of as if you're stirring something. So there's no need to do it. You can even just use your hands as you explore the sides, and then change directions as well. So the more we use our upper body, the more we experience perhaps a different stretch. So the less you circle and bring the upper body forward, the less perhaps deep it may be. Good. And any movement you're doing, just slowly kind of turn it down. So we are eventually aiming at stopping one side of our legs to find, again, that stillness. So begin to get ready to kind of bring more stillness into one side. Your hands can frame one leg. Use the breath, especially the exhale, to lengthen and release. So just without perhaps any counting, just work on lengthening the exhale, that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. So So it may feel quite tense. And if we hold our breath, it feels more uncomfortable. So working with the breath makes it slightly more manageable. And with lengthening of the exhale, we bring that energy down. We find that stillness. The moment the physical body softens and releases, also the mind follows. So from the first side, slowly kind of detach. So you walk your hands back towards the center, focusing in on the second leg. So we are leaning slightly forward, so the belly button points in the same direction as your leg. You're folding forward. So just finding your kind of destination where you want to keep your hands, where the upper body just rises and softens with your breath. So then breathe in through your nose and out through your nose if that feels okay, if that feels accessible. So stay for another 3 rounds of your breath. And then slowly bring your upper body back to center. So there's only one more way to go. So left side, right side to the center, through the middle, literally. So same here, use your hands to support the upper body. It could be further forward, so without straining. So, and really focusing on the breath, as the breath may lift your body, perhaps just a tiny bit. And with your exhale, you may get that sensation that you're moving again just a tiny bit, perhaps closer towards the floor. So let the mind find its anchor in that breath. So maybe there's a certain sound you're making as you breathe in. And breathe out, it may feel a bit like an oceanic sound. Good. 3 more breath cycles, please. And once you finish those 3 breath cycles, begin to walk your hands back towards your feet. So from here, bring your feet together, bring your legs together, just shake out your legs. So you may just head, so like wobble, shaking out those muscles. So if you're sitting on the blanket, perhaps adjust blanket again. From here, we're crossing one foot over the other. So I have my right foot crossed over my left ankle. So perhaps lean back just a tiny bit so you lengthen. Seek that or focus in on lengthening the spine. So you may be here. So lift up. I'm on my fingertips, almost holding me up here. Walk your hands a little closer towards your bottom. So perhaps that is enough already. You may feel the sensation here. If that's the case, stop here and breathe. If you feel, oh, I want to deepen the stretch, keep your upper body long and lean forward. And once more, use the breath to soften. So it's a hamstring stretch. Hamstring stretches are beneficial and helpful when it comes to lower back health. So once more, use the breath to almost surrender into the posture. So there's a saying, the posture you dislike the most is the one you actually need the most. So this could be one of many, who knows? So just focus in on that inhale through your nose and exhale that release. If it feels easier or more accessible, perhaps breathe out through your mouth where you almost let go of that tension that it might be coming through the right hamstring perhaps. So one more inhale and one more exhale. And then slowly come back up to seated. Lean back. Uncross your feet. Kind of just let your feet rock from side to side. So you can cross the opposite leg over, left foot perhaps. So if you started with the left foot, then do the opposite side. Focusing in on lengthening through the spine, maybe even draw the shoulders back and the chest lifts. Perhaps keep that engagement as you bring your upper body more into an upright position. So you cannot just walk your hands closer towards your bottom. So you know when there's a certain sensation. Avoid the temptation of collapsing in your posture and your spine. So keeping that length. And if you want, lean slightly forward. Working with your breath. Inhale through your nose, perhaps maybe sigh it out. Sometimes it has quite an even psychological effect of just noticing, knowing it actually releases the body properly out through your mouth. Inhale in through your nose, exhale out. 2 more breath cycles, please. And then find your way back up. Uncross, lean back, let your legs just wobble. You can also bend both knees. Maybe move them into windscreen wiper legs. So you can kind of just hang out here to release through your hip. Release the lower back. So just finding any movement. Could be just be your knees or your legs, could be the upper body as well if you wish. So it can be tailored to however you want to experience that stretch. Good. So then slowly bring that movement back to stillness. And once more, find a comfortable posture to sit. Maybe you actually want to choose to maybe move closer to a wall, because I want to do a little breathing practice. So you're not having to focus on that your spine is or your back is bothering you. So you can sit against a wall or against a sofa. So I move closer and I'm talking you through. So I want to try it's a 9 cycle cleansing practice. So that's why I asked you to get perhaps a tissue if you want. Blow your nose before we start. So, and it's normal that one nostril might be a little bit more open than the other one. So we are working with our hands and our nostrils. So I'm just moving a little closer instead of actually press or holding the kind of the bottom shut. We are shutting off. So if you explore your nose, there's a bony bit. So here's the bony structure, and then it becomes soft. So and as you tap one finger against that bony, by the bony structure just finishes and the soft tissue starts. So you can close and open and close that nostril. So we are kind of aiming at opening and closing just underneath that bone. Right. So we are doing 3 cycles on one side. We're starting with the left side. So the left side is associated with a more cooling stream. The right side, more firing, more energizing, more energizing. And then we move into both. So I talk you through first. So we're starting off shutting off our right nostril so we can breathe in and out through the left nostril. So we're doing a slow, full inhale in, slow out, slow in, and then a forceful out. So ready. So we're doing it on the left 3 times. So once we forcefully breathe out, that's 1 cycle. 3 times on the left, 3 times on the right, and 3 times both. Okay, so you can use your pinky finger, you can use your thumb, you can use your index finger. So it may be more blocked than the other. Hopefully it works. So slowly begin to breathe in through your left nostril. Slowly breathe out through your left nostril. Slowly breathe in. Forcefully breathe out. 1 cycle done. Inhale through your left slowly. Exhale slowly. Inhale slowly. Exhale forcefully. Still holding the right nostril shut. Last circle here on the left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Forcefully out. Change sides. Shut your left nostril off or in between if you want, maybe clear your nose. So inhale through your right. Exhale through your right. Inhale through the right. Exhale forcefully through the right. 1 cycle done. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale forcefully. Last one here. You can also close your eyes if you want. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale forcefully out. I think it was the last one. Was it? Or no, one more? I don't know. I was getting confused. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Forcefully out. Good. Release both. So kind of release your nostril, release them out. And the same breathing cycle with both nostrils open. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale forcefully out. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Slowly in. Forcefully out. Last one here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Forcefully out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Forcefully out. And perhaps keep your eyes closed. Just stay with that sensation for a moment. Return back to your natural breath. about doing, just let that breath, let the sensation linger for a few moments. So how does the body feel? How does the mind feel? How does the nose feel? So kind of just those internal inquiry. And sitting up against something really helps to take that kind of focus away from, oh, I'm aching, I'm finding it uncomfortable, taking away that discomfort. So stay for another perhaps 3 rounds just with your natural breathing cycle, letting that the effect of that breathing practice linger. Good. And then from here, if you have your eyes closed, you can gently open your eyes. So we're moving onto our back, maybe just a bit of a wiggle, wobble, and then into relaxation. So if you set against something, move back onto your mat, or just return here onto your back. And just hug your knees into your chest. Perhaps a little bit of a wiggle on your lower back. Maybe even still kind of just noticing how does it feel. Just that more focused breathing. So it may have worked, it may have not worked because maybe sinuses are a little bit more blocked. So we're just that sensation working with the subtler body. If you want, you can bring a nose towards your knees, curling together like a little ball. And then perhaps just rock once more from side to side. So maybe some circles on your lower back as the upper body begins to soften. So no agenda here. Just sensing, just connecting to the earth. Good. And from here, put on any socks, bring any blankets or even cushions in. Any blankets or cushions can be popped underneath your thighs, underneath your knees. So you can spread your legs, let the feet roll out open, arms perhaps alongside the body, palms facing up. And then just find your way to rest. So rest is crucial to manage energy levels throughout the day. So 10 minutes can work wonders. So perhaps just feel all the areas of your back body making contact with the earth. Bring ease, relaxation into your toes, your tops of your feet, your heels, your shins and calves. Slowly bring a heaviness into your legs, the knees, the thighs. So let your abdominals soften, releasing perhaps any holding from the lower back. Let the rib cage soften. Just feel that rising and deflating of the lung tissues, your rib cage. Softening your upper back, the backs of your shoulders. Releasing the arms, your elbows, your palms and fingers into the earth. Release any remaining tension from your neck, your jaw. Perhaps part your teeth slightly, so have a bit of a space between your upper and your lower jaw. Sometimes we just have so much tension resting in our head and our mouth. even leading to a teeth grinding. So consciously relax the upper and your lower jaw. Soften your cheeks, your eyes. Bring softness in between your eyebrows, your forehead. And relax the crown of your head. So when we inhale, just bring in a sense of calmness, peacefulness, contentment. And when we exhale, really let go, release, exhale, breathe out any worries, any fears, any stresses. Perhaps inhale a light color, a bright color you associate with joy, with happiness. And then exhale maybe any darkish color you relate to heaviness, perhaps sadness, something that just feels heavy. So breathe out that heaviness. And once you made space, invite that joy, that contentment into your body, into your mind. Your whole body is at ease. Your breath quiet and your mind calm. Very slowly and mindfully invite deeper breaths back into your body. Perhaps just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, maybe rock your head from side to side. Maybe stretch your arms up overhead, stretching from fingertips to toes. And then hug your knees into your chest. So just stretching for the lower back. Just bring movement into the body. And then from here, slowly roll over to one side. Stay there for a breath or two. And then transition into any seated position. Good. So bring your arms once more up. Perhaps breathing is slightly easier, palms together, and then bring that new day into your heart, to your being. Bow your head towards your heart. Thank yourself for making time this morning. Namaste.